Salina. It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Can't make you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl. Oak Cliff girl. Put them heels on and prove. Welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows. It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.
Hello. I am wanting to come on here and wish everybody a happy new year. I hope everybody had a great night last night, that you spent time with someone that you know you love to bring in the new year, or you had a great time with either family, friends, or whomever. I feel like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, you definitely don't need to spend it alone. Hey, CC, how are you? Good to see you, beautiful. CC, you've always been a beautiful spirit person towards me. You just have a beautiful spirit. So thank you for your support, ongoing support. So I wanted to let you know that as well. Orlando, you still a little sick? I'm glad I got over mine. I hope that you get better, because I would hate for you to have to spend these few days at the beginning of the year, sick. So hopefully you take you some medicine, some tea or whatever, and get well and get some rest. Hey, Lady D, good to see you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I am thankful to God that I had another year, um, and that I'm here. I'm in the land of the living. When I was younger, like I said, when you're a kid and you're in your late teens and your early 20s, you take a lot of things for granted. You drank too much. Oh, maybe it was a hangover. Well, I definitely had my share of Jello shots last night. I definitely had my share of that. A little bit of vodka, a little bit of tequila, a little bit of champagne. So I unfortunately drunk enough for the whole year. And I don't usually do that, but I was having such a good time. We were dancing. It was men and women there. So we were dancing. We were playing a lot of different games. We were eating some good food. So I didn't get too sick. I didn't get sick at all because, I was eating and getting them Jello shots in. So you had some Moscato. Okay, Lady D. So I really I don't believe in just getting drunk, but and I didn't even get drunk last night. So I guess that red wine is giving me a higher tolerance. But the Jello shots are really not that bad. They don't have that much liquor in it, and just depending on who makes it. But was it Tito? The Tito? Oh my gosh, that was the strongest liquor I have ever tasted. Okay, I wasn't feeling it. So, but the tequila, it was just right. It hit the spot. So, and they have the tequila 800. I think it's 800. It's a silver tequila. Hey, Jasmine, Happy New Year! Long time no see. Good to see you. Yeah, it is strong. That Tito is strong as hell. So I'm hoping everybody had a great New Year's Eve, a New Year's Day. Unfortunately, it's always the devil. I ain't gonna say the devil. the people that are used to allow themselves to be used always try to destroy, the fun and the celebration. But coming into the year, we had a maniac go into um, the Bourbon Street in New Orleans and decided to run his car where he was he ended up running over 10 people. So 10 people are unalive. And then you have 35 people so far that they've counted that have a lot of injuries. They're in the hospital. So my heart and prayers goes out to those that lost their loved ones last night, because they were just like some of us, just having fun, enjoying life, bringing in a new year, having a good time. Then you got somebody that decides that he hates his life, wants to go in and destroy other people. And so those 10 people were unalived, and the other 35 are injured, but they are in the hospital. So if those who believe in prayer, let's keep those people in prayer, because, like I said, now he did shoot at the perpetrator did shoot at 2 policemen. They are in recovery. Thank God for that. It wasn't anything detrimental with the policeman. He had some open explosives in the back of his truck. Uh, they were said to, from going back from what I'm hearing, they said that he used to be a property manager somewhere in Houston. He is of the. I'm a think. I'm so. Let me just say allegedly. I think he's it from. I'm not going to say what ethnicity he is, because he could be something that is not what I'm saying. So I'm just going to say his ethnicity is Arab descent or Ishmael. It's in that ethnicity. um, and he was in Houston, so I don't know what country his people came from, or where he is originally from, but he is from the Arab descent, and from my understanding now. And he had an Islamic um, flag on his vehicle, on his truck. So he's said to believe of the Muslim religion, and it was allegedly, they're saying allegedly it's an open terrorist attack, because he did have open explosives in the back of his truck. So if you want to find out more on that, because I don't want to just be giving half truths or anything, just kind of look it up for yourself. I found out this morning. Hey, Tyron. I found out this morning, because I got up. I got up at 9, then I went back to sleep because I didn't get home until 3:30. So you know how that goes. I went back to sleep and then woke up at, I think, close to 12. So, and then I got family calling me talking about, oh, we're doing chitlins and a lot of other food. And so my sister was like, well, bring your collard greens. And I'm like, I really want to stay at home. So I'm kind of debating whether I should go or should stay at home, because I had a really fun, long night last night. But anyway, that's so we need to be in prayer for those who believe in prayer about that situation, as well as a man in New York. I don't know if he had an argument with this man. I don't know if they knew each other. It's not said right now how these people are related to, not related, but how what type of relationship these people had with each other. But one of the men had, I guess, got into a fight and pushed one of the men into a subway train. So the man is in critical condition, but he's stable. So like I said, people are really, they be, you just don't know what you're dealing with these folks out here. Sometimes I believe that most people are walking dead. They're just walking dead and they're just doing things out of hate, out of just something to do. I don't even believe these people. Sometimes I don't even think these people are even conscious sometimes of what they're doing. Sometimes they are. But the way people do now, this day and time, and they just do without any feelings. Like when I was telling you guys about um, the immigrant that put the homeless woman on fire and just walked away, just like nothing happened. And then it was said to be, from what it looked like on the video, that it was a policeman that passed her. It looked like somebody in a uniform. I don't know if he was a policeman or what. And he just walked back past her too, like, oh well. So I don't know if some of these people are really just not there and they have just let a whole evil entity take over their body, or if we're dealing with people that are actually robots or something walking around here, because a lot of the times people have no feelings on what they do to other people. They feel like disrespect is just okay. Oh, it's just trolling, or it's just who cares about this person? This person is homeless. Nobody cares about this person. You know, people have that type of mindset. They don't care what they do to affect other people. So it kind of goes into my subject today, which I don't expect, a big crowd, because most people don't want to hear anything that has anything is true to it. They want to hear beef. If I yell and start talking about somebody, start naming somebody, yelling, all of a sudden it's like my numbers will go up. It's like, and it's crazy. So if I do an experiment where I'm cussing somebody out, naming somebody that I can't stand, then the numbers are gonna jump up. And it only takes a split second, right? But when I'm talking about things that is really going on, that people really need to look at or and be informed about, people are not interested in that. So I appreciate those who do come and listen. It lets me know that I'm not just talking to myself, and I'm not, whatever I'm saying is not falling on deaf ears. Um, and when I talk about how you're dealing with people and sometimes they seem like they are not coherent to the things that they do to other people, those are the people that they call most of the time narcissists. Sometimes I just feel like that word is used a little too much. A lot of the times I just think it's people that are heartless and just don't give a damn. At the end of the day, they don't care what they do to affect other people, as long as what they get and their needs are met. They don't care who they destroy. They don't care who they disrespect. They don't care anything about anybody else, and most of the time, they don't care anything about themselves. But for the most part, if you're looking for some people to care for you, for some people to treat you like they want to be treated, like you want to be treated, good luck with that. Because people, hello SBK, people are not interested in none of that. It's only about what they're feeling, how they see it. Um, and so when people are not empathetic or sympathetic, do not be surprised. So that's why I was talking a little bit about why should you protect your heart. And if and I always go back to something that I have been taught. As a young lady, you're always taught, I know from the older women at my church, to protect your heart, guard your heart. And basically that is a scripture in the Bible. For most of the people that think it's a white man's manuscript or whatever you want to believe, I'm not going into that. But whatever you think the Bible is, it does have a lot of good lessons, it has a lot of truth to it on how we should manage our life in some ways, especially when it comes to who you are as a person and how you should protect your peace, right? Anybody that disturbs your peace, anybody that does not respect you, does not value you as a person, is not meant to be in your life. That's period and point blank. Um, the phrase is guarding your heart. Basically, it means be aware of what you let enter your heart, protect it from harmful influence. It could also mean be responsible for your mental, psychological, and spiritual well being, right? So it's basically everything I said from the beginning, keeping your peace of mind, not allowing other people to make you go real crazy, to the point to you that you lose yourself, being spiritual well-being, making sure that you don't allow any hate or bitterness take over your heart because of what someone did to you, or what someone whatever someone did to you, whether it's a word that they said to about you, whether it's a lie, whether they have did something physically to you, that you don't allow bitterness, unforgiveness to take over your heart and make you into what you hate. See, a lot of the times it's the Bible is telling you this for a reason, because a lot of the times we are influenced by so many outside things, and those outside things can sometimes take over us, and they can make us everything that we hate. Say for instance, if you have not dealt with trauma, your childhood trauma, where you've had maybe a father or a mother or auntie or whoever had done something harmful to you, whether it was physical, whether it was sexual, whether it was mental, and you keep that inside and you keep going over it in your mind, the memory, you just can't let it go. You just can't shake it. And it starts to take over you. There's hate that builds up on the inside. And when anything happens and you deal with people and you have conflict, you explode, you go in rage because you have not dealt with that issue. You have allowed hate and anger to take over you. And that's why that's what it means by guarding our heart. We sometimes can't help, especially when we're children, of things that have happened to us. But when we become knowledgeable and come as adults, we have to understand that there's some things we can't keep blaming other people for. It has happened. And what do we do next? We see those influences, the things that people have done, the people that think people have said, the people, if there was a physical, mental, emotional, sexual, whatever it was, and we allow it to infest in us to where it causes infestation of hate, bitterness, anger. Then we're enraged and we want to do something about it. This is how a lot of people mess up. Hey King, how are you? That's where a lot of people, hey Blaze, hey Carl. That's where a lot of people mess up relationships before they even start, because they still haven't dealt with what they had to go through. They still have not dealt with that. And so when you realize that you have so many things that you've allowed to influence you, from what has happened to you, your past, from music, what you see, what you hear, you need to be very cautious of that. Hey Sirius, hey Bama. So I'm not trying to preach to anybody, because I'm still dealing with this myself. As you deal with people, whether it's in reality, whether it's on social media, you definitely have to protect and guard your heart. You have to guard your heart from people that do not value you, that do not respect you. You have to guard your heart from that, because if you don't, you will find yourself in situations. And then when you find yourself in situations, then you start to let that hate or that anger and that unforgiveness build up in you, and you don't want to deal with people in general. Now, some people do not always have a malicious intent about the things that they do. Some people are sometimes they're so selfish that they're not really thinking about anybody else. They're not really seeing the bigger picture, because it's all about them. They're self-centered at the time. So, hey, Matthew, it doesn't mean that they are just a malicious, evil person. They're just selfish, and they cannot observe and they cannot see what is actually happening. Hey, Joe, how are you? So this is what happens when sometimes you deal with certain people. And then there is some people that does have malicious intent. They mean to do what they do. They mean to crush you. They want to break your spirit. They want to take things from you, and it's not always physical. It's sometimes it's spiritual. It's emotional. What people will do to try to break your spirit, to destroy your reputation. So those are the things that some people, when they are malicious, they meant to do it. Then you got some people that are so selfish and self-centered they can't even see, and some people would even think that would be malicious. But some people, have you ever met a person that they're not a bad person, but they're so self-absorbed with their life and what's going on with them, they never realize or put themselves in other people's shoes, right? I know I have. I've dealt with some people like that. They weren't bad people. They didn't purposely just try to be just rude, or just just wrong, or not looking at it the way I looked at it. Sometimes they really just can't see it because they're stuck in their little bubble. They're stuck in their emotions, and I call that sometimes when people lack emotional intelligence. And that comes when people have emotional intelligence. They can be articulate about their feelings as well as articulate maybe how somebody else may feel. They are aware that, hey Randy, good to see you. They are aware of how their emotions, how their actions affect other people, right? And some people are not emotionally intelligent, so they're not aware of what they do and how they have affected other people. They're not aware of it. So those people, I really don't think that they're just malicious. I just think that they're selfish and self-centered. And that's every human. We all have the capability, or the I would say maybe the flaw or potential of being self-absorbed or self-centered. For me, at one point, all I saw was what I was going through, not necessarily thinking about someone else. And it wasn't because I was trying to be malicious. I was just in my own bubble, and I was focusing in on how I felt, right? And when you focus on how you feel, you can't imagine what another person is going through, and you're not even thinking about, well, maybe how did this person take it, maybe how did this person feel. No, because you're thinking about your feelings at the time. And I don't consider myself a malicious person unless if I'm malicious, I'll let you know I'm coming at you maliciously because I don't like you or whatever. I'll be honest about that, right? Some people won't. Some people like, oh, who, me? Not me, but I'll just let you know, yeah, I did it. I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose. But there is some things, because at times I was self-absorbed and I wasn't self-aware, or neither did I have the emotional intelligence to recognize it. I did focus more on what I was going through and how I saw a matter, rather than how that other person may saw it, or how that other person may have felt. See, so that's the difference. And I hope that I have explained that to you, where most of you guys can kind of grasp what I'm saying. Because sometimes I go all around the world to say what I'm trying to say. But basically, we do have to definitely even be careful with people like that, even people that are not self-aware, right? Because people that are not, and somebody had to be aware of me, because at the time I wasn't aware of it, and I could have hurt somebody's feelings. I could have made somebody feel away without me understanding it, the impact of what I said or did, right? And so somebody had to go at their heart for me, right? So when we become, I would say, self-aware of that we have been self-absorbed, we have been self-centered, and we start to really see it for what it is, then we start having a little bit sympathy for other people, right? We're not as fast as being like, well, That is the way it is. Now we start seeing, well, I could kind of see how that person was offended. I could kind of see how that person was hurt. I can see kind of why this person felt the way that they felt, right? But that's, like I said, that comes with actually taking the time. So just like somebody had to protect their heart from me, I had to protect my heart from somebody else, right? As humans, we all have to do that. If anything, hey Dubs, if anything disturbs our peace, if anything takes away from us and not in a good way that tries to destroy us, or not necessarily, maybe not always destroy you, but just interrupt what your focus, it becomes a distraction. You have to learn to cut those things off. You have to learn to say goodbye. I believe, I used to like this song by Sam Smith where I'm used to goodbyes because I understand that everyone has some type of role in your life, and some of those roles have expired. And as much as we hate to let some people go, some people come back to stay, and some people never come back. And you have to learn how to be okay with that. You have to even learn to protect your heart, to protect your peace of mind, your sanity. You have to even learn to say goodbye. And that is the hardest part, especially when you like people, especially when at one time you were the best of friends, and it can even be family members. Do you know a lot of people have so many family members that they fall out with, and it's some really detrimental things to a person's spirit, what some people go through with their family members. Some family members you have to say goodbye to, and that is blood. So just imagine people that you're not related to, even married people that are about to go through a divorce. Somebody was telling me that is one of the most painful experiences. It's just like losing someone by death. You go through a grieving process. And so even with marriages that don't work out, you sometimes have to say goodbye because it could be detrimental to your health. It could be detrimental to you, you not only just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There is sometimes some people that are called, they used to use this term just like they do with the narcissists around here. It's like once these people on YouTube get stuck with something, it just goes like everybody wants to talk about it. But to an extent, it's true. Energy vampires. When you have people that are energy vampires and all they want to do is take from you and never give, there's no reciprocity anywhere. You every time you get on the phone with this person, every time you see this person, it's all about them. Then when you start talking about you, it's somehow it's switched back to them. They don't care what you said. They didn't hear what you said. They are just like, you know what? And you maybe, they weren't self-aware of it. So you let them know, because you know at times you were like that too. You could be a little bit self-absorbed. You're like, well, listen, let me let you know every time, have a conversation, it always goes back to you, and you honest with people and you tell people, right? And sometimes they say they hear it, but they don't really hear it. It's just like if I tell you, if I tell Cece, because some people choose not to hear it. Some people choose to do what they want to do. It's just like if I tell Cece, hey, start calling me a little bit more. I don't like that texting. And then Cece continues to text me. She didn't listen to what I said. And that's what sometimes energy vampires, they heard what you said, but they're not listening to what you said. They're not taking heed to what you said because they don't care enough, right? So when you find out that people don't care enough, they don't care nothing about your feelings, and you've already made them aware that that is something that bothered you, and they continue to do the same thing, that is somebody that you have to put to the left, as Beyonce would say. There is some people you would definitely have to just move around. I'll move to the side. They're not terrible people. They're not just a person that you feel like is just so evil, but they are not going to be a friend to you. They're not trying to be a friend to you. They're not trying to get to know you as a person or hear what you have to say. They don't care, and they're very comfortable with being self-absorbed. They're very comfortable with not being self-aware because it's all about them. You know, I'm the kind of person, if you give me constructive criticism about something that you see, I had a lady, and I had my opinions on her. She had her opinions on me. And she said, I do come across it, in the past, she said, I did come across very self-aware. I took that, whether I liked everything she said or not. I took what that woman said, right? And I looked at it. And then I said, what kind of ways am I showing that I'm self-absorbed? So I thought about some conversations that maybe I've had with people I had with her. I even asked her for examples. I always ask people for examples. You can ask my friend Denise. I said, give me an example so that I know, so that I don't keep doing it. And once the person gave me an example, I said, okay, that could come across self-absorbed. So that is something that I can actually, thank you so much for the Cash App. I really appreciate that. That is something, thank you so much. That is something that I need to be aware of, because if she is picking this up, then more than likely other people are picking it up too. They're just not telling me. So I took what she said. She gave me the examples, and then I learned little by little to stop doing that. And I always ask people to hold me accountable for some of the things that I do, right? Because I know that I am not right all the time. I know that I can go left. I know that I can be just as human as anybody else, and I miss the mark. So that's why it's good to have people. And then when you have people that will tell you the truth, you have to be open to it. Don't get defensive. Accept the truth from how they see it, whether you agree with it at the time or not, right? And then once you, kind of go over it in your head and see, okay, is there some ways that I am being this certain way? Then make steps to work on it. But don't act like it doesn't exist, right? Don't act like, well, it's just them. Some people do get it wrong because they have a bad perception of you anyway, because maybe it's some things, a lot of things about you they may not like. It may not be a bad thing. They just don't like your personality. Your personality doesn't gel with theirs. So that's fine. I ain't talking about that, but I'm talking about some real things that could actually be a hindrance to you and your relationships with other people. So when you see those things and people are making you aware of it, and again, you also have to consider the messenger. But sometimes what you want to call it, the universe, God, the Most High, will use brainwaves will use other people to kind of make you aware of maybe this is something you need to pay attention to, right? So those are the things that I said this year that I definitely was going to be working on. And maybe Brainwaves would like to, or somebody else that knows about this subject would like to come up and talk about it, because I believe a lot of the times, hey, Denise, we definitely have to be very aware of who we allow in our life, whether it's just for platonic, romantically. I said this yesterday, whether it's a business deal, whatever it is, we definitely have to be very cautious. I think this year and ongoing, if we haven't been before, we have to be very cautious of who we connect with. Listen, it's some people that I like dearly. It's some people that I'm like, man, I just wish this could have worked out differently. But since it didn't, what do you do with that? You either, walk away from it, or you are patient with the situation. Every situation is not meant to walk away from either. Every situation is not meant to block. Some situations you have to wait and see, you have to work through to see if it's even worth it. And some things you will know automatically, yeah, no, block, or yeah, no, walk away. I can't spend my time on anybody that is not valuing me and I'm not valuing them. Like, it's just not going to work. And that could be in any facet of your life. Some people had to walk away from the people that brought them into the world, their parents. Because sometimes, let's just be honest, like I was saying earlier, sometimes family can be extremely toxic. They can be so toxic to where they destroy any good peace that you had, any type of peace that you've had. You go to Christmas, you have a bright attitude, personality. You want to show love, you want to be around your family and have a good time. You got some family members, anytime they see you have a smile, they want to say something, whether it's about your weight, whether it's about why you don't have this by now, why you not married, why you don't have kids, why you do this with your career, why you still doing that, why you working at this job. Instead of them just being happy for you, instead of them just seeing you for who you are and being proud of you, they will find something all the time negative about you. So what do you do with that? And these are people that are your blood. Some blood, you have to walk away. I just think about, and see, this is why I said, people can say what they want to say about the Bible and it being a white man's manuscript or whatever. But some of the stories are happening today. There was a lot of stories in the Bible, especially about the family dynamic. And there was a man named Joseph, a young boy named Joseph, who was a dreamer. And God had a big calling on his life. He didn't understand everything, but he knew that God had something big for him, right? That God would give him dreams and he would be able to interpret those dreams. And so with him having those dreams and being able to interpret it, he was very gifted. And a lot of the times when you are gifted in your family, when you do things differently, people will make you as an outcast. People will hate on that. People will be jealous and envious of that because you are gifted, because you are different. You don't do everything like everybody does it. And those are the type of people, if you are extremely gifted spiritually or any kind of way, mentally, physically, you will be hated on by those that are closest to you sometimes. And those are the relationships that will hurt. Those are the relationships that will try to damage you and break you if you let it, right? Because we all want to be loved by our family. That's our clan. That's our bloodline. Everybody wants to be loved by their family. And so as he was gifted, his brothers hated that. They hated him so much that they tricked him into a ditch, in a big old ditch where he couldn't get out of unless it was a rope handed to him, right? But first, one of the brothers wanted to kill him. And then the other ones was like for it, except one was like, no, we can't do that. Let's not do that because we're going to break our father's heart, which is Jacob, was his father. So once that happened, they just decided we're just going to lie to father, get his coat, because his father made a coat with all types of colors for him. Got his coat, put some sheep blood on it, and kept him in that ditch. Hey, Rissa. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Rissa. And they told the daddy he was eaten by a wolf, some type of animal, some type of predator animal, I think it was a wolf or some type of, animal like that preys on humans and, and so after that, he was sold into slavery And he went through many, and he was in Egypt. So he went through a lot of different stages in his life that could have also built up resentment towards his family. His daddy thought he had died. His brothers knew what happened to him because they did it. My point to you is, don't be surprised when you are gifted and you are admired by many, and people see the talents and what you have to offer. Don't be surprised as those that are closest to you will try to break you. They will try to break your spirit. They don't want you to be who you are, but that's just the way God made you, right? And again, I'm not trying to get all just religious, but I'm trying to let you guys know what is going on and what was written in the Bible thousands of years ago is going on today. And for people to discredit it completely, I don't know what they are reading, because what is going on, that what has happened in the past is happening now. People will be envious of you, and sometimes those are the ones that are closest to you, and you have to part ways with these people. You have to realize that just because they're family, it doesn't mean that y'all are blood. I mean, no, just because you're blood don't mean you're family. Let me repeat that. Just because you are blood don't mean you're family. It's some people that you won't be blood with, but you connect to get together like family. So those are the things that you have to listen to, look at and observe and see, that everybody that smiles in your face, or as Miss Larry would tell me, say those sweet nothings in your ear, that seem cool, that seem like they got it all together, that seem like they have their best interest in mind. You definitely need to be observant and take your time getting to know people and guard your heart. Now, on the flip side, guarding your heart doesn't mean no, you can't deal with anybody. You can't trust anybody. You trust people to a certain extent until they show you differently. I don't put my full trust in anybody. I love my sister dearly. I trust her to a certain extent because, number one, she's not God and she's not me. I know me. My sister, she can change, even though I know her. She's pretty consistent, but it could be another day her mood change or the way she thinks change. So people, we're most of the time going to be fickle, right? You know, even you fickle at times. I know, hey, Tay, I know me. I'm human. I know who I am and what I think I'll do and what I wouldn't do, but I'm fickle too. I can make, my moods can change. I can feel one way about you one day, the next day, I don't want to fool with you. So this is what I'm saying. You can only trust people to a certain extent, even those you love, even those that have proven themselves to be loyal. You don't put your full trust in anyone. And so you give some, and I had, my grandfather was like this, and I had an uncle like this. They give people enough rope to hang themselves. Sometimes I do too, and I have done that in the past, and it maybe could have been on to my own detriment, because sometimes when you linger on by saying goodbye, you ended up, sometimes you prolong the situation and it makes it worse. Sometimes you have to cut things off and nip the bud at the beginning, because on some situations, of course, you can't make everything so noticeable. Like, I know you're a Judas, right? Or I know you fake it, right? So some things you have to allow play out. But then there's some things that you nip in the bud, because you already see what type of person you're dealing with and where it could go by your past experiences. See, I watch people, and people want to talk about this all the time, but they don't even realize what they're saying. But I understand what I'm saying. I watch not only my behavior and make sure I'm up to par about what I'm saying, what I'm believing, what I'm standing on, just like I watch other people's behavior. You can talk a good game all day and night, but if you ain't really being true to yourself, then really, to me, you are just a liar. You're just fake. See, I can tell you by my own mouth that there has been time I meant what I said, right? I meant to be malicious on certain things because I wanted to tell that person exactly what was in my heart, and it wasn't nothing loving. It wasn't nothing good, you know. Um, so I'll tell you, but sometimes you'll have people that will have such a mask on, they will hide their maliciousness under, well, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about that, you know. I just, I'm not into that. I don't want to get involved. Yeah, but don't you have to observe, because sometimes people know exactly what they're doing. Hey, Amber, people know exactly what they're doing. And then there's some people, like I said before, they are not aware. But however you see people, however you have observed people, they've proven to be this way or they've proven to be the other way. You should always guard your heart. You should always guard your heart from people that mean you no good, from people that don't care nothing about your feelings, from people that just disrespect you. Don't take any type of disrespect lightly. When people most of the time disrespect you, they meant to disrespect you. And when they don't recognize that and apologize for it sincerely, then that's definitely something you need to look at. Listen, in this day and time, especially in this year, I don't have time for no type of bullshit. Okay. I will be patient with those I need to be patient with, and only I know who or what or when to be patient with certain people. And then there will be other people I would just be like, you know what? I can't. You okay over there. But other than that, like, I ain't got nothing for you. See, I'm okay with people making some mistakes because I'm gonna make mistakes. You gonna make mistakes. Everybody in the world gonna make mistakes. We're human. But when you never see or acknowledge what you have done or what you have said, and you think it's okay, and you just act like it's just nothing, and let's just move on. No, you've lost me already. I've given you rope to hang yourself, and you did it. Okay, so I'm really at this point in my life, I'm not really not interested in being fake anymore. And at one time I was fake because I seen a lot of things and I let it go because I didn't want to make a fuss. I didn't want to come off like I was just being just a paranoid person or just being a hard person, because I've had a couple of people tell me, Celine, you're so hard, but it's a reason why I see things the way I see things now, and why I nip things in the bud, and how I act like, nah, it ain't cool what you did. You know what I'm saying? So, because if you ask me, I'll be like, nah, it wasn't cool. And I didn't appreciate it. And let me tell you why. There's a reason why I used to be a little fake when it came to that, because I wasn't all the way. Like, it would be a point where I'd be like, oh shit, enough is enough, right? But you would have to get me to that point where I'm just like, you know what? Forget being nice in 2025, right? Forget it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Being nice just to be nice is not going to help you. Especially, what motive are you doing it for? You're doing it so that you can be a people pleaser. People will like you more. People won't say anything bad about you. What are you being nice for? There's a difference to me in my mindset, a difference between being kind and being nice, right? Being kind to me is something that you do because you want it to be done to you. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You have some type of integrity. You do it because kindness to me is doing something where if nobody was looking, you would still do it. Being nice is putting on a, I'm being nice because I'm trying to keep it cute, but I really don't, I don't like what you did, and then that's when we go into that passive aggressive bullshit, right? So that's where you have to know the difference. Nice is just something surface, but in the back of your mind, or when you to yourself, you really giving these people the business. But it's like, just be upfront. Just say it for what it is. Don't pretend to be nice. Rather, learn to be kind. And kindness is basically doing things when nobody is looking, the right thing. Making sure that you treating people like you would want to be treated, even though some people want to be treated differently, but everybody to an extent wants to be treated right, whether they're crazy or not. So, and that is my opinion. Nobody has to agree with it, but I do see kindness and nice totally different. I see nice as a facade. That's just something to keep it cute. That's just something to just say, I was being nice. That was just something to say that I feel like I'm a good person, right? Hey, thank you, Tay. We all feel like we're a good person, but that doesn't mean it's the truth, right? I'm just being honest. So I would rather for people to tell me that I've dealt with, that especially if you got a good relationship with, I ain't talking about people you fell out with, because they're going to have a different view. But even with people just sitting back and watching you and didn't say a word, I would rather for people to say, that's a kind young lady, rather than, oh, she's nice. She's nice. Nice, yeah. For me, I used to be nice because I didn't want to come off hateful. I didn't want to come off as a bad person. I was trying to be nice because I was gritting my teeth while I was cussing you out in my head. That's what's being nice. If we want to be technical about it, it's not really kind. So I'm more working on, thank you, Lady D. I appreciate it. I'm working more on being kind. Now, there is exceptions to the rule. There's some things I just don't give a damn about. And people I don't give a damn about. And I'm going to just be honest with you on that. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I care about everyone. I wish that I could, but unfortunately, I don't. There are some people I really feel I'm not the judge. There's only one true righteous judge, and it's not me. But I feel like some people deserve what they get. Thank you, Tay. I appreciate it. I think some people deserve what they get. I'm just being honest. So I kind of got beyond being nice, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to work on being kind. I'm just going to allow God to use me and to be kind. When nobody is looking, when I don't get an applause, when I don't have people just giving me praise, I just need to learn how to be kind to people. But at the same time of me being kind, I got to have boundaries too. And that's a part of guarding your heart. Having boundaries with people that mean you no good. Having boundaries with people that are not bad people, they just don't recognize the value that you are, what type of value you have, and keeping them at bay. Because everybody doesn't have malicious intent, but at the same time, everybody doesn't recognize how valuable you are. So sometimes you have to have boundaries with people so that they can either sit back and recognize it, or they can move on to the next. Right? So we all, with us trying to do the right thing and be kind, we all have to have boundaries with people that mean us no good. We all have to have boundaries with people that mean no malicious intent, but they just don't see you for who you really are. They don't value you as a person, whether it's a man or a woman. And men, just like women, have to guard their heart as well. See, we always talk about the women guarding their heart, but men have to guard their heart too, because you will have women that are predators as well. They only want what they can get from you. But also, every woman is not like that, just like every man is not like that. And again, it goes back. Some people are not aware because they're not self aware. And then some people have malicious intent. Only by observing and taking your time with people and setting boundaries with people that you'll actually find out what you're dealing with. Again, I've had some situations, friends, family, even romantic interests that it's just, you just have to move on. It's not going to be beneficial to either you or it may be more beneficial for them, might not be as beneficial for you. I'll just say that. Because in this world, it just seems like so many, we all selfish to an extent. Let's just be 100. I believe it's just a lot more people are more selfish than others. But we all are selfish. We all can be self-absorbed. It just depends on, are you aware of it and then you do something about it, or are you going to keep being delusional and act like you're just such a great person that you have none of those bad qualities, when that's in every human being on the planet Earth. So if you want to go with that, be my guest. But I just think you're lying to yourself. See, most of us have a grandiose complex about ourselves, and we think that we are more righteous or more something than somebody else because we don't do certain things that other people do. When in truth, it just to be truthful, you may not do what that other person do, but you do something else that's just as bad. And one thing about me is dealing with people that know they selfish and know they self-absorbed and they're okay with it. Like, I knew with me in some aspects where I was self-absorbed, that wasn't cool. How can I ever have relationships with people if it's all about me? Then that means I need to be in a relationship by myself, right? Whether it's a friend, a homegirl, a homeboy, my man, your woman, your girlfriend, your homegirl, your homeboy, whoever. If that's the case, that you're okay with being self-absorbed, be in a relationship by yourself. Don't pull people into your foolishness, and that is the kind of thing that I look at. That is not okay, to just be about your feelings and never consider how another person may feel, how you made somebody else. And mind you, every person is in control of their emotions. So nobody can really take anything from you, like, unless you give it to them all the time. And that depends on what it is. I'm talking more about your emotions, how you manage them and stuff like that. Like somebody that intentionally tries to make you mad. You have the you have the choice to either do something about it, where you going back and forth, saying, going low, going down to the gutter, or you have the option to recognize for what it is. And once you recognize it for what it is, then you set standards for yourself so that you don't cross that boundary of going to the gutter with them. So we have some type of control in our responses. But at the same time, it still doesn't give the other person the right to go around and damage other people or offend other people or lie to other people or do anything that is, hurtful to another person just because a person has to be controlled of their reaction. That still don't give you a right. So I had to state that because a lot of the times people are so like, well, can't nobody control you. And that is right. But also at the same time, people need to watch what they do to people. Put yourself, this is what I started doing. Since when that person had told me on some things, I come off a little self-absorbed. When I have situations now, I start putting myself in other people's shoes. And I try my hardest to see their perspective of maybe what happened and what I did or what they did and stuff like that. So I try my best to put myself in another person's shoes so that I can have a glimpse or understanding of maybe how that person reacted or how that person felt at that point. Do you know it is so many people that live this life and they never done that? Number one, they don't have the emotional intelligence and they don't care. They don't care to have it. They don't care to see that this could be a problem. This is not helpful to anybody, not even myself, right? Because those type of people, they keep themselves by themselves. What I mean by that is, if you ever wonder why some people are just, don't nobody want to be around them. Some people feel drained from being around them. More than likely it's because they're so self-absorbed and they're so self-absorbed, they're so delusional and they can't see it. Hey, Wolfpack, and they can't see it that they lose good people around them. I used to, I'm a loner. I'm a loner by choice. It's not because people don't enjoy me when I'm around them, because I definitely have a good time. And ain't nobody faking with me when we having a good time out there. So I have people to call me to invite me places. So apparently I'm fun to be around, right? And people enjoy being around me. But there's some people that will drain your energy because they're so into them. They can't even see their way. They don't even care. They're just like, it's all about what I want and how I feel. Look at me. I'm the victim. You're not the victim. Forget what you've been through. Forget that I offended you. Forget that you feel this way. Hey, that's you. I mean, just a self-absorbed too. Just it's just overwhelming. And like I said, we all have limits. We all have degrees of being self-absorbed and self-centered. But if your self-centeredness and self-absorbedness, that's not even a word maybe, but goes to 50, well, I'm going to say 70, 80, 90%, even 60, then you might need to look at that, because that's why you either can't keep a relationship, you can't, and that's a friend, platonic, romantically. People don't want to work with you in business because they ain't got time for that. If you're a business partner, you got to work together. You can't work individual. You got to work as a team. People don't want to deal with you. Right, Rissa. And that's why I said, when the person did tell me whether some of the things, like the person told me, I know it wasn't me, but some things were. And I had to acknowledge those things. And I also not only acknowledge them, I had to see ways on how to change it. Because my self-absorbedness could have went, it maybe was 50% at the time. It could have went over to 60, 70, 80, maybe 90. And here I am going to be a whole narcissistic person. I'm just trying to get what benefits me, So in every type of relationship that we encounter, right, we definitely have to set boundaries with people. We definitely have to guard who we allow, whether it's just through simple conversation, whether it's through, getting to know each other as a friend, getting to know each other as something romantically, we definitely have to be careful on who we allow to keep entering our lives. And when they do come back, right? When they do come back, what they coming back for? Are they coming back for good intentions, or they coming back because they want to prove a point to themselves? Or you just have to know why people come back. I know, have you, like, I would just say romantically, have you ever had like an old girlfriend or a boyfriend, you know, they didn't appreciate you when you were in their life, and all of a sudden they either see you on Instagram taking a great picture, or they see you doing big things with your life, and all of a sudden you get a DM or you get a text like, hey, how are you? It always starts back with that crap, right? Hey, how are you? Looking at it like, I'm fine. What's up? I'm real, now I'm kind of like, I'm real straight up, like, what's up? What you need? So you find out, hey, I just would like to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. I'd like to reconnect with you. And you're like, well, why do you want to reconnect with me again? I thought it was pretty much a done deal. Well, I miss you. Oh, okay. You miss. Okay, so you miss me. Why do you miss me? Man, I just miss you. I miss being around you. Cool. Okay, you cool people, right? Okay. Um, you beautiful. All this fluff, right? And sometimes you'll maybe flirt with the issue. Okay, well, maybe let's see where this might goes. Hey, then here you go again, around the roses, pocket full of, what's that? Pocket full of toesies. We used to what is it? Pocket full of poses or something we used to do as little girls. It's like going ring around the roses, going around in circles. So here you go, get a person another chance, come through, hang out, you have a great time. And then the person lose interest again, right? The woman lose interest in you again. And you like, God, you dang it. And I said got, I didn't say the other word. All this time, you haven't been talking to this person. They came back around. You gave them another chance just for them to do the exact same thing that they did before. Now, on the flip side of that, you can get it to where this person understands, I messed up. I should have came at you differently. I should have did things differently. Let's see where this goes. And then sometimes it goes right. You get back together, you reconnect, you start building your friendship again, and things go great. But that is not always the case. It's usually the other way. It goes back to how it was originally, because really they just saw that you were doing better in your life without them. Really, they just saw that you look good on that picture, and they wanted to reconnect to see, because that attractiveness or that beauty or whatever you had going on, that you being handsome, it got them curious again. What she got going on now? And just for them to do what they did before, disappear, right? So that's why you really don't know, but you just have to be observant when you deal with people and accept people back. And even when you accept them back, understand, make them very aware of your boundaries. How far are you willing to go with them? What's up, DJ? How far are you willing to go with them? Like, what do you, hey, let's just be upfront with each other. What you want, what you need. I had a man tell me, Celine, ain't no man gonna just come out and say, I just want to smash. But I think that a lot of times, a lot of things will come out a lot easier. And for the record, I think every man, whether they're in church or not in church, wants to smash. especially if they are heterosexual. That's nothing uncommon. The thing about it, the thing that makes the difference is, do you still want to get to know that person, whether you smash the first day or the first month? Do you still, is something besides sexual and physical holding you, or is that all that's holding you? Do you really find this person interesting? Do you really find this person cool? You really find that this person has a good heart, and you enjoy being around that person? I'm just saying, a lot of the times people can get a lot farther with me if they would just be truthful. And then I can laugh about it and say, okay, well, at least you being yourself, and I appreciate it. What I don't appreciate is people that act like they're the good girl or good guy and they're really full of shit. That is what irritates me. Hey, there's been times I've been full of manure, okay? And I had to call a spade a spade. I was at one time full of manure. Yeah. And I had to realize, if I want people to be real with me, if I want people to be sincere and genuine with me, I have to do the same. I can't ask for something that I'm not willing to give. And that's what a lot of people want. They want stuff that they are not willing to give themselves. Well, the last time I checked, in life, it's a give and take. And that's with anything and anybody. You can't ask for something that you are not willing to give, and you can't ask for something that you're not willing to be yourself. So I would just say, in this day and time, it is very vital for people to be more honest with people. And if people cannot handle the honesty, they're not for you. If people can't handle what's really going on with you, they're not for you. It's one thing about having boundaries. When you start asking for the truth of people because you want to see what category to put them, what circle to put them in, I'm asking you for a reason. I'm observing you for a reason, because I'm trying to see, is what you saying, is it really matching up to what, how your actions? Because I don't look at what people say anymore. People can tell me all day long, I'm a good person, I'm a this type of man, I'm a this type of woman, but I see you doing something that is not trustworthy. And we all have our days, we all have our flaws, right? So I give people some grace because I need grace, right? But when it's a consistent thing and you continue to keep doing it, then you meant to do it. Yeah, Rissa, that's what people used to, especially old people, will tell you, hold that person with a long handle, long handle spoon. That don't mean you have to hate a person. That don't mean you have to be rude to a person, but it do mean you have to. That's basically another saying for uh guard your peace, guard your heart. When you saying long handle spoon, that means boundaries. I need boundaries with you. I'm still observing you. I'm still discerning you. And discernment comes with common sense. And it also comes with applying your discernment and applying your common sense. See, discernment, everybody think it's spiritual, but it's also something that every human being should have. Most human beings should have. Some people have more than others. Discernment is basically using common sense and being able to apply it to your life. So, hey Milwaukee, Happy New Year. So you're right, Carl. Actions speak louder than words. Ain't nobody got time for you to keep lying your ass off, and I'm seeing you do something totally different here. Just tell me no, yes, or I can't do it. And then say, I want an honest woman. I want an honest man. But you can't even be honest with the small things. You can't be honest with, if you can't be honest with the small things, how can you even fathom to think that you are a trustworthy person, an honest person? See, I had to work on that. We call it little white lies. Little white lies is just lies. They may seem little to you, but they start to build. And when they start to build, you even forget that you lied. You be saying stuff, you be like, well, no, that really didn't happen. Why did I say that? Boy, I'm really not gonna do that. I ain't gonna fool with that. I ain't doing that. And you just lied. But then pray to God, I want a trustworthy man. I want an honest man. But you can't be honest. Like I said, discernment is common sense in being able to apply it to your life. That's how I see it. Everything ain't so super spiritual, okay? So when you get that discernment, you learn how to use your common sense to apply it when you deal with people that are not good for you. And that is creating boundaries, whether they meant it in maliciousness or whether they meant it, whether they did mean it, but they're just so self-absorbed and self-centered, they can't see their how delusional they are. So whichever one that you're dealing with, or yeah, the other person, well, that goes with malicious intent, not give a damn about anything or anybody. So whatever type of person you're dealing with, whatever category these people are in, you're going to still have to have discernment, whether they're good people, whether they seem like they're good, whether they're bad people, whatever. You're going to always be having to have some type of boundaries with people. But also don't let guarding your heart mean you got to have, like I at one point, and I'm doing better, have a 20-foot wall up to protect yourself either. Look, you ain't gonna be able to protect yourself from everything. At the same time, sometimes what you're trying to keep out, you may be keeping something good out. And that's where discernment and common sense will come in to let you know, as you watch a person, observe a person, which person you can let over that wall. But only you would know that if you take the time to actually do it. Because see, I had a 20-foot wall up, and I let the good and the bad out. And it only left me at a disadvantage because even the bad will teach you lessons that you need to learn in life. It's some people I wish I never met, but they had some valuable lessons. And the reason why I needed to meet them, the reason why I had to go through what I had to go through was to get a lesson. So when I even encountered that in my life, as I, keep living, God willing, and I see something that resembles something like that, or I've been through a experience familiar, like, the one that I may be going into in the future, I will be able to recognize it very quickly. I won't have to think about it. I just said, I've seen this before. This is where I have to nip it in the bud right now, right? But at the same time, you could be missing out on good people that are behind that wall, that you're keeping behind that wall because you feel safe. You don't want nobody to hurt you. You don't want nobody to do nothing to you. So you keep that 20-foot wall up, you leaving good people out there too. That should be inside from the wall, I would say inside the wall. They shouldn't be outside of it. They should be inside of it with you. So we have to be even careful about that too. Because I was one of those people. I kept a 20-foot wall up for everybody. I don't care if they were good, bad. Everybody stays out, right? Until you find out, yes, you enjoy being a loner, but it does, when you let everybody stay out on the outside, your loneliness and it really starts to build up isolation, and isolation is not good. God didn't make us to be a hermit. God didn't make us to stay at home all the time or to not interact with other people. There's lessons to be learned, but there's also um, good people to meet. So we have to have the discernment to know the difference. And then we also have to know the discernment when to cut people off or when to be patient with people. Because everybody is not where you are and you're not where they are. So sometimes you have to be patient with people, but that still doesn't mean that you don't need to have boundaries with those people. So, hey, Marilyn, I hope that I said everything that needed to be said. Going forward in 2025, I hope that we all can do better. We can make better decisions. I hope that we all can learn how boundaries can be helpful. But also we have to be very careful that we don't, like I said with the wall, that you don't allow fear to keep you from what is good for you too, and who is good to you. So we definitely got to be careful about a lot of different things, but boundaries are there to not only maybe help the other person, but protect us as well and help us. Boundaries are just boundaries. It's letting people know, hey, if you are disturbing anything that I am building to better myself so that I can be a better and decent human being, I'm going to have to cut you off. I'm going to have to move around. I'm going to have to block you maybe. Or I might have to just be like, you know what? It was cool knowing you while it lasts, but unfortunately, our season is up. Hope you guys were blessing this. I'm going to read a couple of comments because I've been talking. So you said being 100% self-absorbed 24/7 is a problem, but on the flip side, you have to show up for yourself. Correct. Pouring from an empty cup all the time will catch up to you. I am still learning this lesson. Right, Ablaze. I agree with you too. Like I said, you can't be so invested in other people that you lose yourself in the process. That's not going to work either. But at the same time, I believe we always talk about balance. I believe balance is essential. You have to have a balance. Yes, you have to put you have to put yourself first. Hey, Corey, you have to put yourself first. But at the same time, you have to realize other people got feelings too. Other people hurt just like you do. And if you call yourself a good person or a decent human being, you're going to consider that sometimes. Okay. It can't be all about what you want and how you feel because you're missing the point. If anybody says that they're a decent person or they are a good person and they never consider anybody else's feelings or how they maybe have hurt somebody or came at somebody in a wrong way, then you're not as good and decent as you think. That is my opinion. But I think there's some truth to that as well. Because that's just not cool. Like a lot of the stuff I think about people that I was cool with, and then like I'm like, if you know what I've been through, and then if you know I've been through some disrespect, a lot of disrespect, and then you come disrespectful to me when you don't even know if my intentions was to actually what you thought it was, right? Some people, when you do things, they think your intentions is to do something to them. And then they say, oh, so you acting dumb now. No, that was not my intention. And really, to be honest with you, I'm telling you exactly why I did what I did and what I was saying. It wasn't in malicious intent, and I'm not playing dumb. But when people come at you in a disrespectful way, then you're going to get what you put out with me. Hey, Shannon, you're going to get what you put out with me because I don't tolerate disrespect, especially if you have called yourself not if you're a friend or associate, and you know what I've been through, and you don't know my intentions. You didn't know my intentions at the time. That's why you have to talk and communicate with people. But see, people don't do that. They just go by their assumptions and their judgment, right? And sometimes our judgment is distorted. And instead of them coming at me respectfully and being like, you know what, Slim, we need to talk. I kind of felt like this. Now, did you mean it that way? And then I can go into how I was feeling at the time and what my intent was. But see, people don't take the time to do that. They'll go by their assumptions and go straight in and coming at you wrong and then expect you to be like cool with it. That ain't gonna fly with me. I'm gonna have a real high bound. This is my boundaries gonna come up, and then my defense mechanisms coming out. And when my defense mechanism come out, then I'm okay with just saying I'm done with you. I can be like that too, because what I don't have to deal with this year, and I won't deal with as I go any longer. As long as God have me to live, I'm not going to be tolerating a whole bunch of play. I don't like when people play with me. I don't like when people are disrespectful and think that's cool. And I understand what people's disrespect is different from other people's disrespect too. So that's people's opinions. But if I'm telling you, I don't like how you came at me, and you still think, oh, it's not disrespectful, but I'm telling you it's disrespectful to me, and you have nothing to say about it besides, well, that's how I felt, then you definitely I don't like people like that. And I understand my limits. I understand my fault. So that's why when people tell me, give me constructive criticism, I don't just count it off, because it could be some truth into what they're saying. Right? So I'm not for play anymore. And I really feel like disrespect is disrespect. I don't care if you don't think it's disrespect. If a person is telling you it's disrespectful, that's exactly what they mean. Okay? So how you deal with it or how you receive it, that's on you. But I'm telling you. And see, a lot of people don't like straightforward people. That's why it took me it kind of, like I said, I was there when I was young. I was real brutal. I was real blunt. And it ended up, messing up my relationships with people until then I thought being passive aggressive was a little better. And that didn't work because that made just people think you were fake. So then I just said, you know what? I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. So let me just go ahead. I'm not going to say everything, hey, Golden, in a rough way, but I'm going to just let you know the truth on how I see the matter. And if you don't like it, you don't have to. But I'm telling you. So there won't be no misunderstandings. You know where I am. And then if you choose to tell me where you are, then you'll tell me that part. But for the most part, I ain't got time to play with people anymore. I ain't got time to be passive aggressive anymore. I'm just going to call it for what it is. And that don't make me a hard person. That just makes me upfront. And I don't think a lot of people, they say they want that, but I don't think a lot of people do. A lot of people like when you, hit, you just walking on eggshells and you trying to word it in the most political correct way, and you trying to, and even the Bible will tell you to tell the truth in love. Yes, you're not supposed to just be brutal with people and where you're just hurting people everywhere you go. But at the same time, the truth is not going to always feel good, and it's definitely not going to always sound good to you. The truth should not be trying to destroy somebody's soul. Like you're trying to tear somebody, rip a new one in them, by your words, and you saying you telling the truth. No, that's just being mean and malicious. So that's the difference. You being mean. You're not, you may have some truth in that, but your intent is being mean and malicious. Your intent is not to just tell the truth, but not trying to hurt somebody, but you trying to let a person know where you stand. That's totally different. It's about the intent of the matter. Would you say ironic how they then want to hang out? Right. Some things said are hard to come back from. Understand for real. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you ain't listen. I'm gonna just let y'all know if y'all don't know. If you come to me disrespectfully, maybe one time, I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna give you grace because everybody has days, right? Everybody gets mad. Sometimes they have indirect anger, misdirected anger rather. And they may be feeling the way. It may not have nothing to do with me. May have something to do with other things that's going on in their life. I give people grace, right? And then I'll address it, and I'm kind of silent. I'll just let you make it. The second time, there's not going to be a second time. I'm going to nip that shit right there. And that's all that she wrote. Okay. What's up, Channel Forbes? Like I said, anybody that want to know if my intentions are meant to be malice, I will let you know that. And if I tell you and I'm explaining to you that it's not, and then you still want to tell me how I was feeling about it just because of your feelings, you were wrong about it. You can't tell people how they're feeling unless they are an habitual liar. Just say, for instance, you're dealing with an habitual liar. Nothing they say that come out their mouth is the truth. You can't believe them. They say you see the sky out there is blue. They'll say the sky is purple. And they will keep saying that the sky is purple. When you looking outside and see the sky is blue, right? You have some people like that. Those type of people, you can't get nowhere with them. I'm talking about people that try to do what is decent and what is right. And you have dealt with them before. You know that they are not one of those people that's trying to go out there and hurt people. And then when you get in your feelings, you're going to try to question them. And then instead of you asking them a question, you have them going to an interrogation. If a person is telling you, this is how I felt, this is what I meant when I said this, and you still want to say it's something else, that's on you too. That's why as many times, I'm telling you, as I go through this year and I'm more direct, there will be some people say, well, now you meant that. How you going to tell me what I meant? How you going to tell me my intent? When I'm telling you, this is what I said, and this is what I meant, and my intent was to do this, not to do that, but to do this. And then you going to tell me my intent? See, I can't deal with them type of people because they too smart for their own good. You too smart, you too dumb. Because you don't know what the hell really people mean in their heart, in their mind. Especially if they have never tried to come at people in a malicious way, right? So we definitely have to be very cautious of that. Like, just don't, ask people. Don't come at people disrespectful. If you want to ask people about their intent, or if you feel a way, come at people respectfully. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get what you put out. You'll get a person that will more than likely, unless they're just a nutcase or they are not controlling their emotions, will have a conversation. Hey, Jack, how are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. So, yeah, you can't just be coming at people and thinking people are going to be cool with that. Like, people are going to be feeling away and they're going to respond. And they're not going to respond in the way you want them to respond. They're going to respond how you came at them. You came at them with bitch, they're going to come with you with bitch. They might not curse. They might say something else. But you're going to get the point that you don't come this way with that. Okay. Like I said, whatever we give out, we got to make sure that don't get surprised what you get back in return. Also, it's a golden rule that most people seem to say, but they really don't understand it. Neither do we follow it all the time. And that goes for me as well. Treat people like you want to be treated. Now, of course, everybody wants to be treated differently. But for the most part, like I said earlier, everybody wants to be treated well. Everybody wants to be treated with some type of respect. Okay. So if you want people to come at you, I don't care how long you've known some person, how you think a person is less than you or beyond, you so wise and older and this person's younger and they don't know no better, or however you think a person is, treat people like you want to be treated. If you don't want them coming at you that way, if you don't want them doing this to you, don't do it to them. If you don't want them talking to you like you crazy, don't talk to them like they crazy. If you don't want people lying to you, don't be lying to them. Like, it's just, to me, discernment is in using common sense and applying it. To me, and treating people like you want to be treated. To me, it's not that difficult. It's just about if people want to do it or not. And most people just don't want to do it because they want to say what they want to say to you, do what they want to do to you, and feel like it's okay and walk away. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you have offended me and I ever have a conversation with you and I tell you about it, I'm going to tell you about it. I'm not going to hold it in and act like it didn't happen, because it did. What is really funny to me, some of these people that supposed to be strong women and strong men, they can't handle it. They avoid it like a plague because they don't want to admit they're wrong or admit where they lack. None of us like constructive criticism, but it is much needed. None of us should be exempt from getting constructive criticism. It is something that builds you and develop you into a better person, for the most part, unless you just have somebody being an ass and just being mean. Constructive criticism, the constructive criticism that I've got, that I've actually used in my life, has actually helped me to be a better person, to be more less self-absorbed, more self-aware of who I am. And that's why I don't do my channel so much for clicks and views. It's good that people come in, press the like button, give you cash app, super chats. That's really a blessing. But at the same time, I understand my message will not gravitate with everybody because everybody doesn't see it that way. And everybody just don't have the time to pay attention to stuff like this. They more worried about who don't like who and who going back with the other person. That's more exciting. And it is, when it ain't your stuff, it's exciting. But see, I've been on the other end when I had lives been done about me that were untrue. So I'm a little bit more sensitive in when it comes to certain things, maybe than other people. So that's just how I feel about it. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's Eve. Again, I definitely did. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm going to share, I guess, some videos with you. I don't think anybody wants to come up. But guys, when y'all see my shorts, especially if you're any of my supporters, please press the like button. I don't know why people sit there and watch your stuff and don't even, it's such a hater sometimes that they don't even press the like button. Like, you spend time looking over here and then won't press the like button. It's just amazing to me how really hateful people are. But I had a really good time. I'm going to share with you this video. Yeah, I want to share a serious conversation with you. But you see, this is the type of live that will get 12 to maybe 15 people in it. Because people don't care nothing about God in your heart. They're like, what the hell? So they don't care nothing about that. I had a great time. This is me being silly. I'll share this with you. So please press the like button.
Hey. Come on, get in. Hey.
Here I go. I done messed up the phone, dropped the phone. I done messed up the whole thing. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, I had a really great New Year.
hey, we made it. 2025,
Yes.
2022. I'm doing okay, son.
We had such a great time.
Hey, come on, Jennifer, get in. Get in it. Come on, Kenya. Hey. I gave everybody glasses. Oh, but Selena.
It's a happy new year. Happy birthday.
Hey. I'm about to say it's Jesus' birthday.
Yeah, I had a great time. That was so fun. I had a great time. I just hope you guys had one too. Hey, all for peace. What's up, E? We got some rave lunatics on this floor. I don't know what's going on with these people downstairs. You said I trust it. I trust everyone. I trust a liar to lie to me. I trust a thief to steal from me. I trust a snake to bite me. I know that's right, DMX. Rest in peace, DMX. Hold on just a second, just in case I have to act a fool out here. Don't come up here playing. Don't come up here playing. Y'all go downstairs. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I had to tell them little bad kids, don't come up here playing now. Take your ass on downstairs. Sorry about that. Oh, and I got to show y'all the other video. In life, y'all definitely need to, girl, because life is already stressful. And I would just say, hey, you need to enjoy life. You said, Happy New Year, Selena, and your beautiful self. Thanks for being beautiful and sexy woman with character. Telling the truth can't be denied. Keep going. You up, child. Love you and your glow up. Thank you so much, all for peace. I really appreciate that. Hey, D, how are you? Happy New Year's. Good to see you. I appreciate everybody that came through. Like I said, I had a blast. Really had a blast. So I hope you guys have a better year. I hope each and every person, whether you in my chat, whether you come back and look at the replay, I'm talking about my supporters. I hope that this year that you will be blessed. I hope that you grow spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I hope that the things that you've been praying for, the things you've been working towards, that God will set up provision for you, that you will go into it this year. I even hope and pray that each and every person, whatever is situation that you're going to go through this year, it's going to make you it's going to make you stronger, a person. And that goes for me as well. And don't let any lesson, don't let it be wasted. Learn from the lesson, and with discernment comes common sense, and common sense, you will learn how to apply it to your life. And I hope that for everybody, hope that your discernment gets better. I hope that hope you have love, hope you have wealth. I hope you have peace of mind, and always keep your boundaries. And make sure you don't have your wall up too high where you miss out on good people too, like I do. So I'm learning my lesson and I'm doing better. And I hope that each and everything that you go through this year, that you'll learn from it and don't keep repeating the same stuff that you did last year. Y'all be blessed. Love y'all to Reese's Pieces. And yeah, that's all I pretty much got to say. I wish the best for everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Selena.
It's a bad baby. Oak Cliff girl. Way that you change my world. Damn, you're so fine, girl.
welcome to Selena's Couch, where you are welcome to be free to be yourself. So you can lay your head on my couch, on my pillows.
It's all good, we can do whatever we wanna do now. I'm in my bag right now, and I got a feeling, babe, yeah. You gon' be my number one lover. Spend the night making love to each other, with the lights on top of the covers. Just me and you, babe. And I feel like you're my
Love you to Reese's Pieces.
Get you a word. Nana nana boo boo.